Today we're going to visit the Lutefisk experts, my friends at Nelson's store in Evansville. Nelson's store has been serving the Evansville-Melby communities for well over 50 years. Wilbur and Florence Nelson began the business, and their son and daughter-in-law, Scott and Ginny Nelson, own the store today. Working together, they sell a lot of Lutefisk.
Since we've been really in fish business, and I told it up here some time ago, Scotty and I, and we figured right around 30,000 pounds we sold since we've been in Evansville. That's a lot of fish. I looked at every one of them.
Handled every one of them.
Handled every one of them. Still got my fingers.
1981 is when we came back to Evansville, and I came as an employee of his, and I worked under him for actually 6 years, because in 1987 is the year that we actually bought the store.
Because of the Scandinavian community, which they were all interested in, at Christmas time in buying Lutefisk. Well, at that time the fish would come in and you'd have to water it all that and out, and the people would have to do that. So Scotty and I decided, let that do it ourselves.
So the Nelsons sell a lot of Lutefisk. But just exactly what is Lutefisk? Let's find out. We'll ask some of those Scandinavian Minnesotans.
Lutefisk is a song. It's played on a lyre, I mean.
So, Paul, just tell me exactly what is Lutefisk?
Lutefisk is God's food to a Norwegian.
Lutefisk is stinky fish that is soaked in lye, and then you cook it, and then you put butter on it, and it's just disgusting.
Can you answer this question for me? What is Lutefisk?
Yeah, it's cod that's been in lye.
Well, they say it's a fish originally. And I'm not sure what happened, but something happened in the processing and it becomes something else.
Lutefisk is they catch codfish and then they dry it out, and it's like a piece of board. And then they put it in, they treat it with lye and produce the Lutefisk.
Yeah.
So is that on your menu?
I love it. Yes. In our CSA box tomorrow. Well, maybe not.
I love my Lutefisk, especially the fish that's bought here at Nelson's store. It is the best. Nice, firm, white fish.
It just wouldn't be Christmas without Lutefisk.
I prefer it with the white sauce. It is good. Delicious.
I'm not a very good fish eater, but...
She's never tasted it.
But so I will say that my wife does a good job for both of us. We had a banquet the other night. She did herself good and didn't eat too much either, because she didn't get sick, did you? No.
I had 2 helpings of everything.
I ate meatballs.
I was told I first had Lutefisk when I was 6 months old. My mother ground it up and mixed it with white sauce and fed it to me with a little baby spoon, and I loved it, and I've loved it ever since. I'm actually 809 years old because I eat Lutefisk all the time.
Well, maybe Lutefisk isn't for everyone. I have to admit I like it, and apparently those who like Lutefisk will go out of their way to get it. Sometimes a long way.
Well, I've heard there have been people that come from as far away as Iowa, South Dakota, North Dakota. There are families that when their children will come from other states if they're visiting home, and then they'll come around this time to come to the supper. So I've met some people that have traveled a good long distance just to come for the supper.
Oh, I think we've had upwards of 750 before, on one night. So that's a lot of people coming to enjoy a lot of fellowship and some good food and just some good heritage type stuff. Usually on this supper we keep about 6 kettles of fish going all the time.
6 kettles of fish?
Yeah, and we started about 3 o'clock, getting fish going, actually cooking it. This is getting real close. See, it's coming in there pretty good. It's a little tough right here yet, so we'll give it another minute. But it's real close, and when the water is this hot, you want to be real careful not to overdo it. So our temperature's up kind of high right now, so we'll turn it down some. It's kind of a traditional Norwegian butter and salt and pepper. Okay.
I describe it as poaching the fish. You put it, we wrap a couple of fillets in cheesecloth. We put it in the kettle and you add salt to the water and you bring it almost to a boil, but you don't boil it. Now that's why I call it poaching. And then you've got a fork you can stick through to see that it is cooked, and you pull it out. But if you have to be careful, if you cook it too long, you end up with mush, and that is bad news.
Like at Christmas, my family, I grew up with Lutefisk and meatballs, a traditional Christmas, Norwegian Christmas meal. And I think a lot of Swedes had that same tradition. So a lot of us, you know, that's an enjoyable thing to relive some of those memories.
Don't leave out the Finlanders and the Germans.
Well, yeah, there's some of them too.
We want to know, what makes Nelson's Lutefisk so special that people like it so much?
As far as me preparing it and that type of thing, I kind of leave that up to Dad. As long as he's able to do it, I'll let him. I'll stay out of his way because he knows exactly how to do it.
We had to water it out first and to get the salt out and the lye out, because some of the bigger stores don't do that. They just cut it up and wrap it up, and you got to take it home and do that yourself. So we started doing it, watered it out ourselves, taking the lye out, and it started into a tremendous business. And well, in the last few years, we've been going up to 7, 8, and 9. Just the last year, we sold over 900 pounds of lutefisk right before Christmas.
Let's go back to the walk-in cooler to see how Wilbur prepares the lutefisk. At the back of the store, behind the shoe department.
We get all our lutefisk comes in 50-pound boxes. Before, years ago, they used to come in big barrels at 100 and 125 pounds per barrel, but that got to be so hard to handle that the wholesalers went down to 50-pounders and 25-pounders. And when the fish comes in, it's wet. But one of the secrets of our business is to get the fish ready for the consumer so that when he takes it home, he could get it. When the fish first comes in, we take it out, put it in the barrel, and put just the right amount of salt. Not too much, but enough to take that lye out. And the first water that you see on that fish is absolutely yellow. That shows how strong that lye is. So we take most of the lye out, put it from one barrel to another one twice. And by that time it's about, but you got to leave a little bit of the lye in because that'll keep your fish firm. And the salt keeps it firm, so when your customer eats the fish, he flakes it off. If you don't, if it turns to mush, you're not going to get them back again. So every, well, just like this last Christmas now in here, we went through 900 pounds of lutefisk for the people, and we're anticipating that and maybe more next Christmas because of the quality of our fish. And that's really the story of Lutefisk in Nelson's store in Evansville. That's holiday time. Reason we have the gloves is, like I said, it's hard on the hands, and once or twice you can do it, but not after 900 pounds. You won't have much fingers, but the lye is strong.
So do you ever need to put a clothespin on your nose?
No, our fish don't smell. That's a kind of a, well, years ago the fish was pretty strong smelling because they didn't know how to handle it. Some of your big stores now will get it in, not even touch it, cut it up, wrap it up, and you do the rest. And sometimes you don't know how to do it, and when you cook it, you've got mush, and that's no good.
What's really nice to hear is when they call you up and say things like, "You really made my Christmas because this is the best lutefisk that we've ever had."
If you like lutefisk but can't find a good source for it, check out Nelson's store in Evansville, deep in the heart of Lakes country.